Today, we're diving deep into one of the most valuable and mysterious coins in U.S. history, the rare 1976 quarter dollar, with no mint mark and N.O. Washington on the obverse. Yes, you heard that right. This little coin could be worth up to $1.6 million today. So let's rewind the clock back to 1976, a big year for America. It was the bicentennial, the 200th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. To celebrate, the U.S. Mint released special quarter dollars with a unique reverse design, a colonial drummer boy with a torch of victory. These bicentennial quarters were minted in 1975 and 1976 and bear the dual date 1776 to 1976. Millions were made at the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints. Most of these are common, except for one bizarre and incredibly rare variant. Here's where it gets interesting. There is a rare error version of the 1976 quarter that has no mint mark and, most shockingly, no image of George Washington on the front. Instead, the obverse is completely blank or mistruck, likely due to a catastrophic minting error. Now, error coins aren't uncommon, but one this dramatic from a historic minting year? That's what makes it so rare and valuable. So how much is it worth? Well, in early 2024, a verified example of this exact error coin reportedly sold for over $1.6 million at auction. Collectors are paying top dollar for unique mint errors, especially ones tied to a historic event like the bicentennial. Even slightly off-center bicentennial quarters can fetch $100 to $1,000 depending on condition. But this specific version, with no mint mark and no Washington obverse? That's a once-in-a-lifetime find. Here's what to look for in your own change jar. First, find a quarter with the dual date 1776 to 1976. Flip it over. The reverse should show the colonial drummer. Now look at the front, obverse. Does it show George Washington? If not, if it's blank, faint, or obviously flawed, you may have something special. Check for a mint mark. If there's no D, no S, and it's not just worn off, you could have a Philadelphia mint error or better. Use a magnifying glass. Look closely. Some of these coins have only partially struck designs or smooth blanks on one side. Anything abnormal? Get it checked. Found something strange? Here's what to do next. Don't clean the coin. Leave it in its current condition. Cleaning can reduce value. Take clear, close-up photos front and back. Visit a reputable coin dealer or get it graded by PCGS or NGC. You can also reach out to auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stax Bowers if it looks truly rare. Remember, just having a bicentennial quarter doesn't make you rich, but if it's a rare error coin, you might be sitting on a gold mine. So before you spend that old change, take a moment and check it out. The 1976 bicentennial quarter might just be your lucky break. It's happened before, and it could happen to you if you found this video helpful. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and share it with a friend or family member who might have old coins lying around. You never know. One of them could be holding on to $1 million mistake. Thanks for watching, and as always, keep hunting, keep collecting, and maybe keep striking it rich. Today, we're diving into a jaw-dropping discovery. A 1965 U.S. Washington quarter that's worth up to $1.5 million. Yes, you heard that right, one single quarter. And the craziest part? It might be sitting in your change jar right now. Most people think coins from the 60s aren't worth much. After all, it's just a quarter, right? But in 1965, something went wrong at the U.S. Mint. A few quarters were accidentally struck on 90% silver planchets, instead of the new copper-nickel-clad ones. And those few mistake coins? They're incredibly rare, and collectors are paying life-changing money for them. Let's rewind to 1965. The U.S. Mint had just made a huge decision to stop minting silver coins due to rising silver prices. Before '65, quarters were made of 90% silver. Starting that year, they switched to a cheaper copper-nickel combo. But some silver blanks accidentally remained in the machinery during the transition. These blanks were struck with 1965 dies, creating the now legendary 1965 silver quarters. They look almost identical to the regular clad version. The real difference? The weight and the sound. A regular clad quarter weighs 5.67 grams, but a silver one weighs around 6.25 grams and gives off a very distinct, high-pitched ring when dropped. Now here's the wild part. In 2023, a verified 1965 silver quarter sold for $1.5 million at auction. Why? Because it's one of maybe 2 or 3 known to exist in such pristine condition. Even if yours isn't perfect, less than mint silver 1965 quarters have sold for $5,000 to $25,000. That's a huge return for a coin you might find in your old coffee can or coin roll. The key is verifying that it's a silver error coin. If it's silver, and especially if it's in great condition, you could be looking at thousands or more. Here's how you can check your 1965 quarter at home. Weigh it. Get a cheap digital scale. If the coin weighs over 6.1 grams, you may have something special. Sound test. Drop it gently on a hard surface. Silver coins ring like a bell. Edge test. Silver quarters have solid colored edges, no copper streak. If you see copper, it's probably clad. Magnet test. Just to confirm, it won't stick to a magnet, but neither will regular quarters. This just rules out fakes. If your coin checks those boxes, the next step is to get it graded. Look for trusted services like PCGS or NGC to authenticate and encapsulate your coin. If you think you've struck gold or silver, in this case, don't rush to sell it on eBay. A coin like this should go through a professional grading service. That's what serious collectors look for. After it's graded, you can consign it with a reputable auction house like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers to get top dollar. That's it for today, folks. Check your change, raid the junk drawer, and ask your grandparents. You never know where these rare coins might be hiding. Hit that like button if you found this helpful, and subscribe for more tips on finding rare coins worth real money. And hey, drop a comment if you think you've got a 1965 silver quarter. We're diving deep into the 2000p Washington $quarter coins, an unlikely treasure with an astonishing value of up to $1.2 million. That's right, you could have a small fortune sitting in your coin collection without even knowing it. So, if you've ever wondered if your old coins are worth something, stick around. You might just have a hidden gem. First, let's set the stage with a bit of history. The Washington quarter has been part of the U.S. currency since 1932. In the year 2000, the U.S. Mint struck millions of quarters, each featuring the familiar image of George Washington. These quarters were issued in honor of the 50 states, and each state had a unique design. However, the coin we're talking about today, the 2000p Washington quarter dollar, stands out. Now, this coin was produced in large quantities. So, what makes the 2000p Washington quarter dollar special? Well, unlike most other coins in circulation, it has a very rare, almost unnoticed mintage error that could make it incredibly valuable. Here's where things get really interesting. You see, a certain number of 2000p Washington quarters were struck with an error during the minting process. These errors weren't intentional, and the mistake was missed during quality control. As a result, some of these coins are worth far more than their face value, sometimes even hundreds of thousands of dollars. What happened was a small, but significant mistake in the minting process. The coin was struck twice. This caused part of the design to overlap, making the coin's appearance slightly off-center. This error has become a highly sought-after feature among collectors and investors alike. If you have a 2000p Washington quarter with an error like this, it could be your ticket to big money. But what makes this even more incredible is that these coins aren't just rare. They're in high demand among collectors. So, how can you tell if your 2000p Washington quarter is the valuable error coin? Well, first, let's talk about the key features you need to look out for. Look for the P mint mark on the back of the coin. The P indicates it was minted in Philadelphia. Look carefully at the coin's design. The double strike or overlap error can often be spotted by the slight misalignment in the details, where the face of Washington or other design elements appear to be doubled or off-center.as with any rare coin. Condition matters. The better the condition, the higher its potential value. Coins that are well preserved, with little wear and tear, are generally worth much more than those in poor condition. checking for the double strike and examining the overall condition of your coin is key. If you find one, you could have something worth more than just a couple of quarters. So, just how valuable are these coins? The market has been incredibly kind to this particular coin, with some error coins recently selling for up to $1.2 million. That's right, a coin with an error, which at first glance may seem like an imperfection, has turned out to be an absolute treasure. While most 2000p Washington quarters are worth their face value, the error coins can command a hefty premium, depending on the error's severity and the coin's condition. Even those with a less noticeable error can fetch several $1,000s in the right market. And what's even more exciting is that these coins continue to rise in value as more collectors get interested. The rarity of the coin, combined with the collector's market boom, means that if you have one of these error coins, it could be the perfect time to sell. Now, I know many of you are probably wondering, where can I sell my 2000p Washington quarter if I have one? Well, there are a few trusted places you can go to sell these rare coins for top dollar. Online auction sites. Websites like eBay or Heritage Auctions often host rare coin auctions, allowing you to set your price and see what collectors are willing to pay. Many coin shops specialize in rare coins, and they may be interested in purchasing your 2000p Washington quarter, especially if it's in excellent condition. Before you sell, though, it's a good idea to get your coin appraised. A professional appraiser can give you an accurate estimate of its worth, so you can make sure you're not leaving money on the table. So, there you have it, the 2000p Washington $quarter coin, a rare gem that could be worth up to $1.2 million if you have the right error coin in your collection. Make sure to check your old quarters and don't overlook any potential treasures hiding in plain sight. If you found this video helpful, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on future coin discovery tips and more money-making opportunities. And remember, whether you're a collector or a seller, the world of rare coins is full of surprises. Thanks for watching, and good luck hunting for your next treasure. Today, we're diving into a coin that could be sitting in your collection right now, and you might not even know it, the 1998p Washington $quarter coin. And guess what? It's not just a regular coin. Some of these are worth a jaw-dropping $1.8 million. Yes, you heard that right. $1 million. Stick with me, and I'll explain why this particular quarter could change your financial future. This is the 1998p Washington quarter. You've probably seen hundreds of these in your time, but do you really know what makes this one special? Well, let's start with the basics. First off, the P stands for Philadelphia. That's where the coin was minted. It's part of the 50-state quarters program, which launched in 1999, but this specific coin was minted a year earlier. In 1998, the U.S. Mint began preparing for the state quarter program. This program was designed to celebrate each of the 50 states with unique designs on the reverse side of the quarter. But here's the kicker. There are some rare and valuable varieties within this series that can command serious money. So why is the 1998p Washington quarter so valuable? Well, the key lies in its rarity, condition, and a very specific error that occurred during minting. Not all 1998p quarters are worth a fortune, far from it. But if you happen to have one of these rarer varieties, it could make you a lot richer than you thought. This is a closer look at a 1998p Washington quarter that's in excellent condition. The value of these coins is largely dependent on two things. First, the quality, and second, whether it has a rare error. The higher the grade, the higher the value. Now, let's talk about the $1 million coin. In the world of coin collecting, errors are often worth far more than regular coins, and there was a significant error in the 1998p quarters, one that has taken the numismatic world by storm. It's called the double die obverse error, and it makes the coin look like Washington's profile is doubled. You can clearly see the doubling effect on the letters and the date. These coins are rare, and they're worth a lot of money. If you spot this doubling effect on your coin, you could be holding onto a rare treasure. But be cautious. It's not always easy to identify this error with the naked eye. That's why it's always best to have your coins professionally graded by a trusted numismatic expert or a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC. Now, you might be wondering, how do I know if my 1998p Washington quarter is worth millions? Well, the key factors here are rarity and condition. A double die obverse coin in pristine condition can go for more than $1.8 million at auction. But even without this specific error, the value of these coins is still much higher than you might expect. For example, a standard 1998 P quarter in uncirculated condition could be worth anywhere from $2 to $5. But a coin with the right error and in high grade could be worth up to $10,000 or more. It all depends on the specifics, so it's important to get those coins properly evaluated. Here's the bottom line: coins from the 1998 P Washington Quarter series can be valuable, especially if they have the right error. Now, before you run off and start looking through every quarter you own, let's take a quick look at how you can check your coins for errors and what to do next if you think you've found a winner. To check for the double die obverse error, you'll want to get a magnifying glass or a coin microscope. Look carefully at the letters in Liberty, "In God We Trust," and the date on the obverse side. If you notice a visible doubling, that's a big sign. If you're unsure, get it professionally graded. If you find that your 1998 P Washington Quarter does have this error, or if you just have a coin in excellent condition, it's time to get it evaluated. Professional grading can help you understand the true value of your coin. And once you've done that, you can decide whether you want to sell it or hold onto it for future appreciation. Coins like these don't just sit in a jar or a drawer forever. There are active markets, and you can find buyers willing to pay top dollar if the coin is rare enough. Auctions, online marketplaces, and specialty coin dealers are the best places to sell your valuable coins. So, before you sell or trade any of your coins, make sure you do your research and consult with a trusted expert. A coin that might seem ordinary to the untrained could actually be worth more than you think. Always get your coin graded by a professional. Do your research to understand its value. Consider selling through reputable auction houses or dealers. Don't rush. The right buyer may pay top dollar for your rare coin. Well, there you have it, the 1998 P Washington Quarter and its potential for massive value. If you think you've got one of these coins hiding in your collection, don't let it sit there collecting dust. Get it checked out, and who knows, you might be the next lucky seller to make a fortune. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you never miss a coin-related update. Have you ever wondered if that old quarter sitting at the bottom of your drawer or tucked away in a coin jar might be worth more than just 25 cents? Well, today, we're about to dive into a hidden treasure from 1997. A Washington quarter that could potentially make you a millionaire. Yes, you heard that right. The 1997 D Washington quarter could be worth an astonishing $1.7 million. Stick around to learn how you could have one in your collection and what to look for when selling old coins for their true value. Let's start with some quick background on the Washington quarter itself. The Washington quarter was first issued by the U.S. Mint in 1932 to honor George Washington's 200th birthday. Fast forward to 1997, and the design remained much the same: George Washington's profile on the obverse and an eagle on the reverse. But what makes the 1997 D quarter so special? Well, it's all about rarity, minting errors, and, of course, condition. Now, let's focus on the 1997 D Washington quarter, which was minted at the Denver Mint. Most of the 1997 D quarters that you'll come across are worth just face value, 25 cents. But here's the kicker. There's a rare variety of this coin that's worth way more, up to $1.7 million. This coin was part of a small batch that contained a minting error, a very special and rare mistake that makes these quarters super valuable. Let's talk about what makes this 1997 D quarter so valuable. It's a double die obverse error, a type of minting mistake where the coin is struck more than once, causing certain details, like the date or the lettering, to appear doubled or misaligned. This error is super rare and happens when the coin is improperly pressed during the minting process. When you look closely at a double die obverse, you'll notice the doubling effect on the Liberty and the date, 1997. This small error makes the coin extremely sought after by collectors, especially those looking for rare and valuable minting mistakes. Now that we know why this coin can be worth so much, you might be wondering, how do I spot a valuable 1997 D Washington quarter? Well, here are the key things to look for. First, check for the double die error. Inspect the date and the word Liberty closely. If you see any doubling or misalignment, you could be looking at a rare specimen. Second, condition is everything. A coin in mint state with no wear, scratches, or damage is much more valuable. Coins with a higher grade can fetch a significantly higher price. Third, get it graded. Having your coin professionally graded by a trusted service like the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, can confirm its authenticity and condition. Coins in higher grades, like MS 65 or higher, are often worth much more. So you might be wondering, how much is it really worth? Well, here's the good news. The 1997 D Washington quarter with the double die error has been sold for as much as $1.7 million at auction. That's right, one lucky collector found the right coin and struck it big. Of course, not every 1997 D will fetch that amount, but some have sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars, depending on their condition and rarity. Footage of a coin auction with people bidding enthusiastically. Imagine finding one of these coins in your collection and watching it sell for that kind of money. It could change your life. If you're sitting on a valuable coin, you're probably thinking, how do I sell it for the best price? Here are some tips. Research your coin's value. First, do your research. Look at recent sales of similar coins. Websites like eBay, Heritage Auctions, and CoinWeek offer valuable pricing insights. Second, get your coin appraised by a professional. An expert can give you an accurate idea of its value and make sure you're getting a fair deal. Third, when you're ready to sell, use trusted channels like reputable auction houses, online marketplaces, or coin dealers. Avoid quick, sketchy deals. You want to get the most money possible for your rare find. And for those of you who are just starting to collect coins, remember, patience is key. Rare coins don't appear every day, but with a keen eye and a bit of research, you might just find a hidden treasure in your spare change. Always stay informed about the market and learn to spot those valuable minting errors. So, there you have it. The 1997 D Washington quarter with a double die obverse error could be worth up to $1.7 million. If you have one of these rare coins, it might be time to check its value, get it graded, and see what it could fetch on the market. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more valuable coin tips. Thanks for watching, and happy collecting. If you've got any questions or stories about your own coin discoveries, leave them in the comments below. And remember, you could be sitting on the next big find. Today, we're diving into one particular coin that might just make you a millionaire. The 1996 P Washington quarter dollar. It's a piece of American history, but what you might not know is, some of these coins are worth up to $1.6 million. Stick around to find out how you can cash in on this rare find and what makes this coin so special. You won't believe what you might have in your own collection. Let's first talk about the Washington quarter itself. The Washington quarter, named after our first president, George Washington, was first issued in 1932 to commemorate his 200th birthday. It became a staple in American currency ever since. Most quarters you see today are worth just $0.25, just as they were when first minted. However, not all quarters are created equal. Over time, some years have produced rarer and more valuable coins, especially if they were minted with a mistake or in limited quantities. The 1996 P Washington quarter is one of those rare exceptions. You might be asking, what makes the 1996 P quarter so special? Here's where things get really interesting. Back in 1996, the U.S. Mint produced a large number of Washington quarters, around 1.4 billion in total. Most of these were minted in Philadelphia, hence the P Mint mark you'll see on the coin. But something happened during the production of the 1996 P quarters that makes this coin highly collectible. A small but significant error happened in the Philadelphia Mint. Some of the 1996 P quarters were struck with a misaligned die. This created a coin with a very distinct look, which collectors now recognize as a rare and highly sought-after error coin. Here's where it gets mind-blowing. If you have a 1996 P Washington quarter with this error, it could be worth a lot more than just a few quarters. In fact, Some of these rare coins have sold for up to $1.6 million at auction. But how can a coin that was originally worth just 25 cents become so valuable? Well, the value comes from the rarity of the error. Only a small number of these coins were minted with the misalignment, and as time goes on, these error coins become even harder to find. That's what makes them so valuable to collectors and investors in the coin world. Now, let's talk about how you can tell if you've got a 1996p Washington quarter that could be worth thousands or even millions. You'll want to inspect the coin closely. Here's what to look for. First, check the mint mark. It will be a small P just under George Washington's neck. That's the Philadelphia mint mark, crucial for this specific coin. Next, examine the design. The key factor is the misalignment of the die. You should notice that the design is off-center. This is the key sign that the coin was struck with a misaligned die. Look for signs like a blurry or doubled image of the eagle or Washington's portrait. You might even see parts of the coin's design cut off or shifted. If you see any of these features, you could be holding a coin that's much more valuable than just a quarter. Now that you know how to spot a valuable 1996p Washington quarter, you're probably wondering, what should I do if I find one? Here's how to get the most money for your rare coin. Start by getting your coin professionally appraised. There are many reputable coin dealers and numismatists who can examine your coin and confirm if it's the rare misaligned die version. If they confirm it's the error coin, you can look into selling it through a coin auction house or a trusted dealer. These venues specialize in rare and valuable coins and can help you get the best price for your treasure. Be sure to research auction houses and dealers before selling. Look for those with a good reputation and experience in rare coins. Once your coin is auctioned, you could be looking at a huge payday. Finding a rare 1996p Washington quarter could be your ticket to a small fortune. But even if you don't have one, don't give up on your collection just yet. There are many other valuable coins from different years and mint marks that could also be worth more than you think. Whether you've got a jar of coins or a family heirloom, it's always worth checking them out. Before you go, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more tips on how to spot valuable coins in your collection. And if you know someone with old coins laying around, be sure to share this video with them. You could help them find their own hidden treasure. Thanks for watching, and happy coin hunting. Who knows? Your next quarter might just be the one worth $1 million. We're diving into one of the most sought-after coins in recent years, the 1995 Washington quarter dollar. And if you've got one of these hidden in your collection, you could be sitting on a gold mine worth up to a staggering $1.5 million. Stay tuned, because by the end of this video, you'll know how to spot this valuable coin and how to cash in on it. Let's get started. The 1995 Washington quarter is part of the regular series of quarters that have been in circulation since 1932. But here's the catch: what makes this specific coin so valuable, you ask? Well, it all starts with a minting error that occurred in 1995 at the Denver Mint. Now, let's break it down. The 1995 quarter appears to be a typical coin, featuring George Washington on the obverse and the iconic eagle on the reverse. But what sets this coin apart from the rest isn't visible to the naked eye, at least not at first glance. This coin has a special die error, a rare mistake that caused the coin to be struck with an incorrect die, resulting in an unusually sharp, deep strike. This error makes the 1995 Washington quarter stand out like a diamond in the rough. Now, you're probably wondering, what makes this error so special? And how do I know if I've got one in my collection? The coin features an extremely noticeable doubling effect on the lettering and numerals. In simple terms, you'll notice that the word Liberty, as well as the date 1995, appear to have a double strike. This happens when the coin is struck multiple times by the die, creating this distinct error. But that's not all. The most important part of the error is its rarity. Only a very limited number of these coins were made, and because of that, they've become incredibly sought after by collectors. So, how do you spot the valuable 1995 Washington quarter from all the others in your collection? Well, it's easier than you think. First, take a look at the date, the word Liberty, and the motto "In God We Trust." If you notice any doubling or a blurry, doubled appearance on the text, you've got a winner. Look closely at the D mint mark as well. A sharp, clear mint mark indicates it's from the Denver Mint. Next, check the condition of the coin. Like most collectibles, the higher the grade, the more it's worth. A mint state coin with minimal wear is more valuable than a worn-out one. If it has minimal signs of circulation, that's an added bonus. Now, the big question: how much could your 1995 D Washington quarter actually be worth? This coin's market value has skyrocketed over the years. While a regular 1995 D quarter is worth just 25 cents, the error version has been known to fetch up to $1.5 million at auction. That's right, $1.5 million. Why so much? Well, it's all about rarity and demand. There simply aren't many of these error coins out there, and as collectors get more interested, the price keeps climbing. In fact, one of these coins was sold at a public auction for that mind-blowing price, setting a new benchmark in the world of numismatics. So, you've got the rare 1995 D Washington quarter, and you're thinking about selling it. What should you do next? First, have your coin graded by a professional service like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation. This will ensure that you know its exact grade, which is crucial when determining its market value. Once you've got your coin graded, you can choose to either sell it at an auction house like Heritage Auctions or reach out to professional coin dealers. Make sure to get multiple appraisals to understand what the coin is truly worth. Another great option is selling online through trusted platforms like eBay or Great Collections, where you can auction your coin to a wide range of collectors. Before you head off to look through your coin collection, let me remind you, finding one of these error coins is extremely rare, so don't get discouraged if you don't have one. But if you do, congratulations, you might be sitting on a fortune. And remember, even if you don't have a 1995 D error coin, there are plenty of other valuable coins out there, so don't stop looking. The world of coin collecting is filled with opportunities to make a profit. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on more tips, tricks, and valuable coin info. Thanks for watching and happy hunting. Today, we're diving into the exciting world of rare coins, specifically the 1994 P Washington $quarter coin, and how it could be worth a staggering $1.4 million. Yes, you heard that right, $1.4 million. But before you get too excited, let's break down how this coin went from being a regular quarter to a high-value treasure. Stick around, you won't want to miss this. Let's start with the basics. The 1994 P Washington $quarter was minted in Philadelphia, and just like most of the quarters from this era, it was intended for circulation. At first glance, this coin might look just like any other standard Washington quarter you've seen before. On the front, you've got George Washington, and on the back, there's the eagle with an olive branch and arrows in its talons. However, there's something special about the 1994 P quarter that sets it apart from its counterparts. You see, during production, a small batch of these quarters were struck incorrectly. Instead of being minted normally, they were accidentally struck with the wrong type of die, making them incredibly rare. Now, when a coin is produced with an error, it often becomes a valuable collector's item, and that's exactly what happened with these 1994 P Washington quarters. While most of them are worth just 25 cents, a select few of these error coins have been sold at auction for hundreds of thousands, even millions of dollars. So what makes this coin so rare? Well, the 1994 P Washington $quarter coin we're talking about is unique because it was part of a very limited run that was struck with a misaligned die. This caused the coin to have a special, one-of-a-kind appearance, unlike any other quarter produced that year. It's not just your typical wear and tear type of error. This is a genuine minting flaw. Because of that flaw, the coin's value skyrocketed. Only a few of these quarters exist, and that's what makes them so valuable. In fact, if you come across one of these, you could be sitting on a potential gold mine. Now, let's talk about the money, the fun part, right? So, how much are these rare 1994 P Washington quarters really worth? Well, the market for rare coins fluctuates, but recent auctions have seen these coins selling for astronomical amounts. The highest sale to date for a 1994 P Washington quarter has been $1.4 million. Yes, $1.40 million. But not every 1994 P quarter is going to sell for that kind of money. The condition of the coin, how rare the error is, and even the timing of the auction all play a role in determining the price. So, if you have one of these quarters, it's important to have it properly evaluated by a coin expert or appraiser. Now, I know what you're thinking. How can you tell if you've got one of these rare 1994 P Washington quarters? Well, first, you need to check the mint mark. The 1994 P quarter will have a P mint mark on the front, just below George Washington's neck. Then, you'll want to closely examine the coin for any errors. Look for signs of misalignment or unusual marks caused by the misaligned die. If the design is off-center or the details are distorted, that could mean you've got one of these valuable error coins. And, of course, make sure to examine the overall condition of the coin. A coin in mint or near-mint condition will be worth much more than one that's been heavily worn down or damaged. Remember, condition is key. Alright, so you've got a rare coin, what now? How do you go about selling it or getting it appraised? The first step is to get your coin professionally appraised. There are many reputable coin dealers and grading services that can assess the value of your coin. Some of the top coin grading services include the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, and the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC. They'll give your coin a grade based on its condition, and that will heavily influence its value. Once it's graded, you can sell your coin through an auction house, a reputable coin dealer, or even online marketplaces. Just be sure to do your research and choose a trusted platform to get the best price. Before we wrap up, let me leave you with a few tips if you're thinking about selling your old coins. First, don't rush. Take your time to get a proper appraisal. Second, educate yourself about the current market trends in coin collecting. And finally, always remember that rare coins like the 1994 P Washington quarter can be worth a lot, but they also require careful handling and evaluation to make sure you get the best deal. So, if you think you might have one of these rare coins, don't just let it sit in your drawer. It could be worth a small fortune. Thanks for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more content on rare coins, their value, and how to get the most out of your collection. Who knows, your next coin could make you a millionaire. Today, we're talking about a coin that looks totally ordinary, but could be worth up to $1.1 million, the 1991 P Washington quarter dollar. If you're between 30 and 70 and thinking about selling your coin collection, don't go anywhere. I'll break down what makes this quarter so special, how to know if your coin is valuable, and how you can sell it for top dollar. Let's start with the basics. The 1991 quarter features George Washington on the front and the bald eagle on the back, a design used from 1932 to 1998. The P mint mark under "In God We Trust" tells us it was minted in Philadelphia. Over 630 million of these were minted, so why is one of them possibly worth over $1 million? Well, it comes down to rarity, errors, and condition. Now, the average 1991 P quarter in circulated condition is only worth 25 cents. But here's the twist. A few special coins have sold for hundreds of thousands and even over $1 million, and here's why. White heavy checkmark minting errors. These include things like double dies, off-center strikes, or wrong planchet errors. White heavy checkmark proof-like or deep cameo strikes, rare. High-quality strikes meant for collectors. White heavy checkmark MS 67 plus condition or higher, that means a nearly flawless coin. White heavy checkmark unique die variations. Sometimes coins are struck from a faulty or altered die. One of the most famous known 1991 P quarters had a major double die obverse and sold for over $1.1 million at auction because it was in pristine condition and a one-of-a-kind error. Okay, so how do you know if your quarter is the rare one? Grab a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe. Check the mint mark. It should say P. Look for any errors, doubling, off-center images, unusual thickness, or misprints. Consider the condition. Is it scratched, or does it still shine like new? If you see anything odd, don't clean the coin. Cleaning can destroy its value. Think you have a winner? Here's how to get it appraised the right way. White heavy checkmark, use a reputable coin grader. Look for PCGS or NGC certification. White heavy checkmark, get a second opinion. Online forums or trusted coin dealers can give you feedback. White heavy checkmark, watch out for scams. If someone offers to buy it fast for $500, it might actually be worth 100x more. Take your time and do the research. A certified coin in a protective case always fetches more on the market. Ready to sell? Here's where the big money happens. eBay, heritage auctions, or great collections, in-person events with expert buyers. Find dealers with ANA or PNG certification. Estate sales and high-end auctions. 4 coins with million-dollar potential. Never rush the process. A little patience can turn a 25-cent coin into life-changing money. So there you have it, a 1991 Washington quarter might just be worth over $1 million. The key is knowing what to look for and where to sell it. If you found this helpful, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe for more coin value guides, and comment below if you think you've got a rare coin. We're diving into one of the most shocking coin values in recent years, the rare 1988 Washington quarter, and what makes this ordinary-looking coin so extraordinarily valuable. If you're sitting on old coins and wondering if they're worth something, this might just change your life. Coin collectors and auction houses are going wild over a specific 1988 Washington quarter that sold for a jaw-dropping $1.8 million. But here's the twist. Not every 1988 quarter is worth that. Only a handful of rare varieties hold that kind of treasure. And today, I'm going to show you exactly what to look for, how to tell if your coin is the one, and how to sell it for top dollar. The Washington quarter has been around since 1932, originally minted to commemorate the 200th birthday of President George Washington. Fast forward to 1988, the U.S. Mint in Denver, that's the D mark, produced millions of these coins. So why would one of them be worth millions? Simple. Rarity plus error plus condition. That's the perfect trifecta for a coin collector's dream. Here's what makes the 1988 D quarter potentially worth $1.80 million. A very rare misstrike, known as a double die obverse, where the image on the front is slightly doubled. You'll notice it in Washington's eye, mouth, and the lettering. The design is not properly aligned, making it look off-center. These kinds of errors are extremely collectible. The $1 million quarter was graded MS-68 by a professional coin grading service. That's near perfect. No scratches, sharp details, like it just left the mint. Out of the millions made, only a few dozen have these specific traits. That's why collectors are willing to pay a premium. So now you're probably wondering, how do I check my 1988 D quarter? Here's how. Check the date and mint mark. It must say 1988 and have a small D under Washington's neck. Look closely at the lettering and Washington's face for any doubling. Off-center coins may have uneven edges. If it looks shiny and flawless, that's a good sign. Companies like PCGS or NGC can officially verify and grade your coin. This is essential if you want to sell for big money. If you think you have a valuable coin, don't just list it on eBay $4.10. Here's how to sell smart. Get it graded by a trusted service. Without this, collectors won't take you seriously. Contact top coin auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers. They can connect you with high-end buyers. Avoid pawn shops. They rarely offer fair prices for rare coins. Join online coin forums or Facebook groups. You'd be surprised how helpful the collector community can be. That old jar of coins on your dresser? It could be your retirement plan. Or maybe a gift to your grandkids. Or that dream vacation you've always wanted. One rare coin changed someone's life, and the next one could be yours. So check those quarters, especially the 1988 D. Look for the signs, get it graded, and who knows, you might be sitting on $1 million treasure. Backhand index pointing right. If you found this helpful, hit the like button, subscribe for more tips on rare coins, and drop a comment below if you want help identifying your collection. Thanks for watching, and good luck treasure hunting. Today, we're diving into a US coin that could be worth over $1.1 million. Yes, $1.1 million, the 1981 Washington $quarter coin. Sounds unbelievable? Stick around, because this might just be the most valuable 25 cents you'll ever see. The Washington quarter has been a staple of American pocket change since 1932. Originally designed to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington, this coin became a permanent issue due to its popularity. Over the decades, it's seen design tweaks, composition changes, and of course, rare minting errors that make certain years incredibly valuable to collectors. But not all valuable quarters are old and silver. Some, like the 1981p, are valuable for entirely different reasons. Let's talk about the 1981p quarter. Now, at first glance, it seems like any ordinary coin. Minted in Philadelphia, made of copper-nickel clad, and not even considered part of a rare year. But here's where it gets interesting. In early 2024, a collector reportedly sold a 1981p Washington quarter at a private auction for an estimated $1.1 million. Why? It had multiple rare features: an extremely rare double die error, a near-perfect mint state condition, MS 67 plus or higher, and full strike details, especially on the eagle's feathers and George's hairline. Coins like this are one in a billion. But even lower-grade versions with minor errors can be worth hundreds or thousands of dollars. Okay, here's what you want to look for in your 1981p quarters: the P mint mark, located on the obverse, front, of the coin above Washington's ponytail. Doubling errors, especially on the word liberty, and the motto "In God We Trust." Full strike details, sharp lines in Washington's hair, and the eagle's feathers. No wear or scratches. The higher the grade, the higher the value. Weight check: should weigh around 5.67 grams. Any significant deviation could mean a planchet error. Use a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe, good lighting, and take your time. You never know what you might discover. Now, not every 1981p quarter is worth millions, but many error coins, especially those graded MS65 and above by PCGS or NGC, can sell for $100 to $5,000 or more. If you think you have something special, here's what to do. Get it graded by a professional. Use services like PCGS or NGC. Check sold listings on eBay or heritage auctions to get an idea of market demand. Avoid cleaning your coin. That can dramatically lower its value. Remember, coin collecting isn't just a hobby. It can be a path to real money, especially if you inherited coins from parents or grandparents, or you've been unknowingly hoarding quarters for years. One simple coin could change your life, and it only takes a few minutes to check. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button and subscribe for more guides on rare coins that could be worth a small fortune. And hey, let me know in the comments if you've got a 1981p quarter. I'd love to hear your story.